What is going on, guys? The Inside the Boot podcast, and today breaking down some more stuff on the New York Football Giants, and they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I know everybody is probably questioning, Vin, why the hell do you have a Kelly Green Eagles jersey and a headband? I lost a bet. Originally, the bet was with another Eagles fan that if the Giants lost by 10 or more, the Giants would have to basically cover the 10-point spread. And if they didn't, I'd have to wear Kelly Green Eagles stuff, and that's what happened. I'm in Eagles stuff. It's a really bad look for me. I don't look good in Kelly Green. I don't look good in this headband. I don't like the Eagles one bit. And Daniel Jones really said, Vin, I'm going to make sure that you're in Kelly Green for this episode. I know I'm recording this on Thursday. It's a little bit late. A little bit's probably an understatement. It's almost the end of the week already. But I had to get this video in. I had to get it in for my buddy. I kind of wish the Eagles lost so you guys would see my buddy on the channel, but that is not the case. The Eagles smacked the Giants 28-3. The Giants had a touchdown, but it got called back from Theo Johnson's offensive pass interference. And overall, the Giants were not bad. Like, the 28 points doesn't really dictate the Giants' defensive performance. Dexter Lawrence picking up a sack. Brian Burns playing another solid game. Andrew Phillips was awesome. And a bunch of other guys having good games. Daniel Jones and this offense is a XFL varsity level football offense. You could have any coordinator calling this game for offensive plays. You can't change the fact that Daniel Jones is your quarterback. And he's a reason why that I'm in the position I am, wearing an Eagles jersey, talking about the NFL, talking about the New York Giants. And of course, if you're new to the channel, you know that I mainly talk about New York sports. Sometimes we get into it with tier list, all sorts of other stuff, but mainly on the channel, it's New York stuff. It's New York Rangers, New York Yankees, and the New York pathetic Giants. Now, when I made the bet, did I think that they were going to win the football game? Probably not. And later, towards the end of the discussion with the bet and with me and my buddy, it came down to money line. And I was watching the game. Then we had to leave and we had to do some stuff. I come back. I check ESPN and we're getting smoked. Daniel Jones has like 99 yards of 14 completions, which is awful. It's not even averaging 10 yards. 10 yards a throw. He can't make a throw very far. His longest pass in the past recent games has been 15 yards to Wanda Robinson. Their highest completion in this game was 14 yards. How does an offense have 14 yards of their highest completion? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Now, Brian Daboll is obviously done with Daniel Jones. We've seen it in the conferences recently. He's saying Daniel Jones is the guy, and they wanted to switch some things up, getting Drew Lock in there. No. Daniel Jones should be benched. Is he ever going to be? Probably not. And the Giants can't afford Daniel Jones to get injured either. They can't afford that, because if Daniel Jones gets injured, the contract situation of Daniel Jones and the New York Giants is a mess, and it's going to go down as a top 5 worst contracts offered probably of all time. And maybe you can make an argument it's top 3, but in recent memory, I'd probably say that the Daniel Jones contract is the worst. And anytime anybody talks about the New York Giants, the first thing is that Daniel Jones is holding back this team. And they're 100% correct. Daniel Jones, of course, his 2022 season, it felt like that was the peak of Daniel Jones' career. He wins the playoff game against the Minnesota Vikings. Ever since then, he gets a better offensive line. He gets a wide receiver in Malik Nabers. He still can't figure it out. Now, I know Andrew Thomas did not play. He's had a season-ending injury. Joshua Azuda cannot be the left tackle either. Man, oh man. It's a tough look for the Giants. Now, I know everyone is going to say that this is Brian Daboll's fault and this is Joe Schoen's fault. Well, we just also got news from John Mara that he's not done with the process with Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. I think that's a positive. You could say what you want about Joe Schoen, whether it's the Evan Neal pick or paying Daniel Jones $40 million. I don't think he's the worst GM in history. I think he has made some questionable moves. I never thought I'd live in a world that a quarterback that threw for 15 touchdowns would get $40 million. I thought it was going to be like a low 30. Wasn't the case at all. This guy got a bag, and he's got $160 million. The Giants could still cut him after this year, but they got to be careful with his injury stuff, because taking on a team like Pittsburgh and teams like Baltimore and even like Dallas in another game against Philadelphia, if Daniel Jones gets hurt, this team is in a rough spot. A very rough spot. And now, as much as it is rough for me to talk about the Giants made me into the Kelly Green, Jason Kelce Eagles outfit for today's video. Now, say what you want about the headband. This is the only time ever you will see me in an Eagles uniform. I hate it. I feel disgusting in it. And I don't feel good about it. It's probably also the last time I'm ever going to make a bet with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Giants playing each other. But anyways, I guess some other news. Jalin Hyatt has a rib injury, and there's a few other injuries. Don't know what the running back situation is going to be this week. If Devin Singletary is going to get some more carries, or they're just going to keep feeding Tyron Tracy. Of course, the Giants are taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. As we get into that, do I feel great about it? No, because the Pittsburgh Steelers, just took down the New York Jets with Davante Adams, Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if the Jets have a better offensive line. I haven't watched enough Jets games, but the Jets have a lot of things that are better than the New York Giants. They have a better quarterback. They have a way better wide receiver core. Even, honestly, probably without the addition of Davante Adams, I'd still take a wide receiver core of Allen Lazard, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams. I think that definitely is better than Jalin Hyatt, Wanda Robinson, Darius Slayton, and all of them. But, man, this game just frustrates me on so many levels that, you can't even get an offense going because of Daniel Jones. And I guess it does make Giants fans a little optimistic of the future if you do get a guy like Shedeur Sanders, who's looked good. You get a guy like Cam Ward from from Miami, who's looked great. That could definitely change your franchise around. And with Brian Daboll getting a new QB, it's like a dream come true for Giants fans. Brian Daboll came in probably knowing that the Daniel Jones experiment is going to be hard. Now, getting to the playoffs in the first season with Daniel Jones, I think Giants fans were quite shocked. They didn't know that Brian Daboll had this offensive scheme and had this team going to a playoff spot ever with Daniel Jones. Because certainly I didn't. Because Daniel Jones came out of Duke College. Daniel Jones came out of Duke. What player in recent memory as a quarterback has come from Duke and be successful? Now, that's not on Brian Daboll. That's not on Joe Schoen. That's not a Joe Schoen pick. That's a Dave Gettleman pick. And listen, I could rant all day long on Dave Gettleman and why the Giants are so behind in talent and so behind in so many metrics and analytics and all that. Because this is a drafting league. And if you can't draft well, you're not going to be good. Like the Detroit Lions, they drafted very well. And that's why they are where they are today. An elite team in the NFC. not only in their division, but an elite threat. I think they're honestly probably the best team in the NFC, for sure, in my opinion. I do think they're slightly better than the Minnesota Vikings. And that comes from drafting, trading up for Jahmyr Gibbs, getting Amon-Ra St. Brown, trading for Jared Goff. That was a good trade for them, a beneficial trade for both sides, right? Improving the offensive line. It's one of the best units in football. They have a great defense with Brian Branch and a bunch of other guys. You can't say the Giants can't do that. It might take 3 to 4 years, but if it means that we're going to be a contender and a real team in the NFC and a real team in the NFL, so be it. I will wait 3 years, and if it even means getting beat up by the Philadelphia Eagles and getting chirped by Dallas, and even talking to the few fans of Washington, because I admit it, Washington does not have many fans. I saw on an Instagram thing, they didn't even know who their quarterback was last year. They didn't know who Sam Howell was. They actually know who Jaden Daniels is because he's actually good. And it seems like Washington is going in the right direction. The Giants can too. They have an elite defense. I'll tell you that right now. The Giants defense is very good. Led by Brian Burns. Dexter Lawrence is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Kayvon Thibodeau has his flaws. Azeez Ojulari, in my opinion, can get to the quarterback. Maybe not like an elite rate, but he could do things that can be beneficial. Micah McFadden and Bobby Okereke, I think, are very solid linebackers. Now, the cornerback situation is tough because Deonte Banks, it's either the guy is wanting to be there or he's just going to jog and play like garbage. We can't have that on the football field, Deonte. Guy's jogging and Jalen Hurts gets another 5 yards after Bobby Okereke finally pushes him out of bounds. That can't happen. Jogging when CeeDee Lamb burnt you. That can't happen. Now, Dexter Lawrence said that they talked about it and that going forward that Deonte Banks knows that this can't happen again. But regardless, you got him at 25. We want to see a CB1 caliber. It seems like it's more of Andrew Phillips. The rookie is seeming to be more that CB1. I think he allowed like 4 yards or something. Like he had a really good game according to PFF. And that's great because we definitely had a lot of criticism of Deonte Banks to start the year. Well, not Deonte Banks. We had a lot of criticism of the Andrew Phillips pick because we thought they were going to go with the I'm blanking on his name, but the offensive lineman. I forgot his name. I actually forgot his name, but I think everybody knows who I'm talking about from UConn. I'm pretty sure he's from UConn as well. Definitely fact check me in the comments below. But anyways, like Andrew Phillips is a good player. I think Tyler Nubin's a good player. I think Tyron Tracy could be a good player. I think Theo Johnson in the blocking game has looked good. He's had some times where he's gotten some receptions for good yards. I just want a good football team. I never want to wear this Kelly Green stuff again. I never want to be in a headband again. And I wish I could say it. I wish we could never lose to the Philadelphia Eagles again. But I mean, dating back to 2014, they are our owners. They have had better teams than us. They have had better rosters, better coaching. They've had better everything than you. They've dominated. Now that helps with draft. That helps with drafting Devontae Smith or drafting a bunch of other guys and trading for A.J. Brown. And now I don't think Jalen Hurts is something elite. I think he's a great QB. He's definitely better than our situation. I think he's in that great tier list. I don't know if he's an elite QB. I think you could maybe say there's some signs that he can be an elite QB. He's definitely an elite runner when he gets in outside space. He could definitely, run really well. Of course, he's, good in the tush push and all of that. We haven't even gotten to Saquon Barkley. We're 14 minutes into this episode, and Saquon Barkley ran through us. It's as easy as that. And the Eagles honestly flooded MetLife with Eagles jerseys and Saquon jerseys, a bunch of stuff. Philly Sports Guy was there. Everybody was there. And you got blown out in a game that I wouldn't say you were supposed to get blown out, but you weren't supposed to like let this game go this bad. With with Daniel Jones being terrible in this game, it doesn't help. Saquon nearly getting a career rushing game. Of course, he had a touchdown. I knew he was getting in the end zone. Like you just know when someone's gonna get in the end zone. And when you take on their rivals, which it really isn't a rivalry when you lose every time, Saquon stole the show. Malik Neighbors' first game back, what was it, like 4 receptions, 41 yards. He even was pointing when he was doing a route. He was pointing like, pass here, Daniel, pass here. And Daniel didn't. Daniel tried to throw to Darius Slayton, misses him. And like at this point, why has Daniel Jones not been benched? Dable is a competitive guy. He wants to win, and he wants to get this team back in the playoffs sooner than later. So why not play like Tommy DeVito? Or, Drew Lock, too. Now, I think ultimately it comes down to the NFL draft. Dable wanted a QB last year. He was satisfied that they got Neighbors at 6. But overall, he wanted either Drake May or Jaden Daniels. Drake May going to the Patriots. Jaden Daniels going to the Washington Commanders. And he's looked good. He's definitely looked good. He has a rib injury that he's dealing with. Hope he's all right because I do like watching him play. I don't like when he kills the Giants, but I think he's a good QB, and I think he's got a great future in the NFL. I guess to wrap it up, it's like, where do we go from here? Daniel Jones is already expected to start in this game against Pittsburgh. Do I love it? No. It's a Monday Night Football game. Don't think the Giants deserve to play on Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Prime, Thanksgiving. They don't deserve any of that. At this point, they don't deserve any of that. The Giants, I understand, New York team, big fan base, big market. It's tough to play here. Sometimes players just don't pan out in New York. Like, stop putting us on Thanksgiving. I want to enjoy my Thanksgiving dinner and not seeing my team get their asses wrecked by the Cowboys. Stop. Stop putting us on Thanksgiving. I'm tired of it, Goodell. I'm tired of it, man. Like, we don't deserve these type of games right now. And, like, I don't even want to get into mock drafts yet, but I might have to. The Giants are going to have a top 10 pick. I don't know if there's a lot of games left on this schedule that they can win. I think, honestly, this gauntlet, they could have honestly won a few of these games if it was just better QB play. You could have probably beat the Bengals, and you probably could have beat the Dallas Cowboys, and then you're sitting with 4 wins. You lose this week. I think you could definitely beat Carolina down the stretch. I like to think you could beat the Washington Commanders. But then again, like, Jaden Daniels is cooking. Don't think you're going to beat Dallas or Philadelphia this year. As bad as a team of Dallas is, Dak Prescott is still a good QB in the regular season. Postseason, he's not. Regular season, Dak is a real thing. You got to still take on Derrick Henry. And I know the defense could do everything they can. But what it comes down to is Daniel Jones trying to put up points on the board. The guy hasn't had a touchdown in 2 years. Two freaking years without a touchdown. How the hell do you have a job? You haven't thrown a touchdown at home in 2 years. On the road, the stats between the road stats and the home stats should be flipped. But they're not. Like, Daniel Jones has like 41 passing touchdowns, 29 interceptions on the road. And then at home, he's like 28 of 29. Like some like ridiculously close stat between the two. Shouldn't you love to play at home, Daniel? MetLife Stadium? You're home and you can't throw a damn touchdown? The offensive line has improved. Now, I know losing Andrew Thomas is huge, but man, oh man, it's a big loss. They're trying people at left tackle. Like, I'm going to say it, why not put Evan Neal at left tackle? Why not? We know he can't play the right side. That's a Luminori's spot. Why not test him out at the left side? It was his natural side in college, and I know college may not translate to the NFL, but like your natural side, then you kind of play out of position at right tackle. You don't do good. You lose a job. People want you out of here. Then you make fun of the fans and say that they're just McDonald's workers, all of this type of stuff. For Evan Neal's standpoint, I wouldn't hate putting him at left tackle. I really wouldn't. But I mean, I think that's enough. I've had enough talking about the Giants. I've had enough wearing this Eagles jersey, this Eagles headband. I've had enough of it all. But anyways, guys, never place a bet on the Giants until further notice. If you're a Birds fan, you probably love the gear that I'm in right now. Probably going to get screenshotted, clipped, whatever you call it. I deserve it. I put my team on the line, and they lost. And they lost big. They lost 28-3. Only a Greg Joseph field goal was the only points. And I think the Giants now are averaging 14 points a game. And I feel like that's only going to trend downwards. The worst team you're going to play is the Carolina Panthers. And my goodness, if you lose the game in Germany to the Carolina Panthers, Mara's got to sell the team. John Mara's got to sell the team if you lose against the Carolina Panthers. But that's enough of me talking. That's enough of me wearing this Eagles gear. I can't wait to never put this jersey on again. If I place a bet against the Eagles, the stakes are going to be much different. It's frustrating. I know the Giants fans, we want better. I believe Pitt Dable's the guy. I sometimes question Joe Shane and his decisions, but I really hope this team is trending in the right direction. I hope they get a different QB who actually knows how to play the game and doesn't just twiddle their thumbs and play like garbage. But, like I said, now that's going to do it. I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace. And go Giants. I hate the Birds.